Has writing become such a hassle for you that just the thought of it stresses you out? There's a simple mindset shift that will change that for you instantly. In this video, I'll show you what it is so you can become a better writer, regain your passion for screenwriting, and finally finish that screenplay. But first, you need to understand that big problem that's making you hate screenwriting in the first place. Otherwise, you'll never be able to get rid of that feeling, and your screenwriting dreams are never gonna happen. Imagine you bought a brand new car, and it's not just any car. It's your dream car. You get to show it off to all your friends, you're turning heads on the highway, and it just feels exhilarating. But after a while, you start to realize why everyone warned you not to get one. You know, every other month, a new part needs repairing. The car was put together horribly, and you spend more time driving it to the shop than anywhere else. Soon you just start to hate it. I mean, you don't even want to look at it. The supercar you once loved now sucks the life out of you because it's become nothing but an inconvenience. It gets to a point where you don't even want to sit down and write. And then the thought comes in, well, this is my passion. Why don't I want to do it? Oh, well, maybe this isn't my passion. And then you start looking on LinkedIn, consider becoming a structural engineer, and lose all aspirations of becoming a screenwriter within about 30 seconds. Cue existential crisis. It's like this endless cycle where at first you're daydreaming about becoming a screenwriter. You know, it's all you want to do, but then you start getting a taste for how difficult screenwriting actually is, and every time you try it, you just want to pry your eyes out. Sooner or later, you just associate the very act of writing with pain, and you have nothing but negative emotions to relate back to it. What most people don't realize is that it's not starting your screenplay that you're afraid of, it's finishing it. The way I realized this was by forcing myself to do something that used to terrify me. I saw a girl walking past me on the street and I wanted to go talk to her, but the thought of doing so just made me nervous. I started saying all these things to myself like, what if she says no? Or what if she whips out a frying pan and hits me in the head? I would just let her walk by because of that. One of the biggest reasons we procrastinate on our screenplays is because, especially if you haven't even started, getting to page 120, it's just scary and overwhelming. You perceive it as so intimidating that you begin to doubt your ability to even do it in the first place. So stop freaking out about the entire script that you need to write. Like, we often forget that we're never physically working on the entire thing at any one time. The entire script's never gonna exist if we don't even write one word down. Like, you can't even start because you're so worried about finishing. But if you don't start, then you're definitely not gonna finish. Dude, like, this is one of the worst things ever when it comes to being a writer. I'll get halfway through a script and then tell myself, I'm like, God, I can't keep going. This is a horror, who would read this? And suddenly, instead of writing more, I'm just debating whether or not a writing career even makes sense for me. Like, I'd just be forcing myself through the entire thing. And then I just don't end up finishing. I just give up because it gets to a point that putting more words on the page feels like pulling gum out of my hair. And how would I manage to get gum stuck in this hair? I blow some pretty big bubbles. This fear of finishing is the only thing holding you back. And I've been there myself, but once I overcame it, not only did my ideas flow more freely, but I was able to complete an entire first draft in 2 weeks. So this is the secret here. This is the one mindset that if you apply it to your writing, you will never feel overwhelmed by a project again. It goes back to that same girl that I was telling you about earlier. After she walked by, I started to think about something. The only thing I needed to do was go say hi to her. That was it. The possibility of her rejecting me didn't matter because the fact is, it wouldn't even be possible for her to do so if I never went to say hi in the first place. So, you know what I did? I stopped thinking about the potential end result and reminded myself that the only thing I needed to worry about was taking that next step. And I did it. In the case of writing, write one word at a time. Make that your only goal and learn to view that as a success. Because if you don't even have one word down, how do you ever expect to write an entire screenplay? Don't worry about whether the entire script is good or whether you'll be able to sell it. Just increase your goals as you get moving. Like, once you write a word, finish the sentence. Once you finish a sentence, write a full paragraph, then a page, and just keep going from there until, I have a full screenplay. Oh my God, how did that happen? Apply this to like the physical process of writing too. Meaning, if even sitting down to write feels too intimidating to you, take that one step at a time. Just sit down in your writing chair. That's it. You'll feel a lot more motivated to get started. Once you've done that, turn on your computer. Then open your writing software. Just keep taking it one step at a time until you're actually putting words on the page. I don't know anyone who types like this. I don't know why that's how I mimed it. So that idea on its own is good, but it probably doesn't feel like enough. I mean, surely you can't just write one word down and expect that to satisfy you forever, right? Well, lucky for you, it's actually pretty easy to boost your persistence to finish a script, increase your confidence, and enjoy writing. All you have to do is celebrate small wins. Remember what I talked about earlier in the video when I said that you associate your writing with pain? You just associate the very act of writing with pain. See? I did say that. I told you. If you do what I'm about to tell you, your memories of writing will be nothing but positive. You'll feel so good after a writing session that you'll not only get more writing done, but you'll actually start looking forward to writing rather than dreading it for the entire day. There was one part I left out about approaching that girl. After I went up to her, I started to leave. I did what I set out to do, so why stay? That was it. But then she stopped me. She called me back and asked me for my name, and we got to chatting. And yes, I did get her number. And it's all because I did that one thing of just saying hi to her. And that showed me just how significant something as small as going up to a girl and saying hi can be. That it's something worth celebrating. I mean, she was an attractive girl, I'm not gonna lie. The fact that me just saying hi to her got her to ask my name tells me it's probably not something that happens to her regularly. So just the fact that I did it made me proud of myself. From then on, I started to let myself feel extremely happy with myself every time I said hi to a girl. I'd make it a goal, and once I did it, I'd just let this boost of dopamine just surge through me. That gave me the impetus to keep going, to continue the conversations, and I started getting better at conversations with pretty much everyone, not even just girls, even though, I did get better at that too. It's the same thing with writing. Don't look at writing one word as insignificant. It is mathematically better than writing absolutely nothing. So if you start your day with the goal of writing one word, when you write that one word, celebrate inside. Be willing to pat yourself on the back, like literally hype yourself up. Let that winning feeling just run through you. This is how we become addicted to things. We get this amazing feeling, this boost of dopamine from some accomplishment, no matter how small it is. And it makes us want to keep going, to get more of this feeling. And now, anytime you think back to your last writing session, if you truly manage to channel these positive emotions within yourself, that's what you're gonna remember. When you think back to your writing, you'll be thinking about how good it made you feel. When I started doing this, I wasn't thinking to myself like, oh, but last time I was only writing one word. I was remembering, oh, wow, I felt great last time I wrote. I'm gonna do it again. I wanna do it again. Remind yourself of all those little wins you have. We release dopamine when we achieve goals of any size, so just make your goals as small as you can. It's like a hack for you to get dopamine. That way, you can literally become addicted to your writing. Not only that, but this is how we drop into a flow state. When your victories churn into each other like this, they just build up and up until you're just flowing without even realizing that you are. So many of us are very used to dwelling on negative things, of sulking in our own sorrow when something just doesn't go our way. We forget that we can do this with the opposite too. You can dwell on the positives. When something good happens, like achieving your goal of writing one word down, you should be ecstatic with yourself. And then let that winning feeling, let it charge you up just to keep going. But it's important that you understand how to channel this winning feeling, because if you don't, then you'll never be able to actually feel good about your writing. There was one day I was procrastinating on my writing, and this is, of course, not an uncommon thing for me. I was just sitting at my desk, scrolling on my phone, with Final Draft open, but not actually putting a single word down. And I tried visualizing my success, forcing myself to get started, but nothing seemed to be working. So, you know what I decided to do? I decided to go take a cold shower. And you're probably wondering, what does a cold shower have to do with anything? Well, first of all, hygiene is very important. Like, if showering is not already part of your routine, I would recommend it. But cold showers boost dopamine levels. And I literally only did it for like 2 minutes. I felt amazing afterwards. And as soon as I got out, I went and started writing, and I let that feeling continue into my writing. I held on to it. And you can do this without taking cold showers. Just think back to other times in your life that have brought the same feeling to you. It doesn't need to be that special, because it's not about the magnitude of the feeling. It's just about the feeling itself. And it could be anything. A good grade on a math test, getting the right word on a crossword puzzle. Something as small as finding a parking spot close to the entrance can bring you this feeling. And just bring it into the here and now into your writing. But If for some reason you can't think of anything, even though, trust me, it's there, be on the lookout for this throughout your day to day. Write down little events that, like, even though they seem trivial, they give you an excited little rush, you know, like those butterflies in your stomach. And again, bring it with you into your writing. There's one other thing you can do to create this feeling. It's to manage your self-talk. After you complete one of your writing goals, tell yourself something along the lines of, I'm the greatest writer in the world, or this is gonna be the greatest screenplay ever. And just let yourself live within that sentiment for a while. And you might think this sounds cheesy or even a little cocky, but it is a lot better than doubting your skills with every word you try to force out of yourself. Not only that, but think of how much better your writing will be if this is your mode of thinking. Because now you're not just forcing yourself through the whole time and being like, oh, this is horrible, no one's gonna read this, and just making yourself write anyway. But instead, now your writing it's just infused with this newfound confidence that's gonna show on the page. Now you know how to increase your confidence with writing by using small wins and taking it one step at a time. But how do you keep going? How do you make sure you don't lose momentum when you sit there for an extended period of time? If you learn how to properly integrate the Write Forever drill into your writing, you will never struggle from writer's block again. If you want some more insight on this, check out this video here.